Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the 2015 NHL playoffs right now with a returning guest, special guest, Justin Batt from IlluminatiSports.ca, guy who exploded onto the scene with us last year in the NFL, going 26-13 against the spread for free in our videos, blew everyone away, including me, and now he's back to analyze some series odds for the NHL playoffs. Justin Batt from IlluminatiSports.ca. Thanks so much for being back with us.
Thank you for having me back, Peter.
All right, give everyone a quick rundown of what's been going on at IlluminatiSports.ca since we last spoke to you before we analyze Islanders and Washington.
Well, if you're interested, we're going to be covering the NHL postseason extensively in our day and week passes, as well as NHL Pass. So if you're an everyday bettor, you can sign up for NHL Pass. It's $249. Then we also have Pick 6. It's listed at $64.99. We got 3-star. It's listed at $39. And then you got the owner selection, which is $29. So, if you like some value and you like to bet single games, we're the place to go. We'll give you and hook you up. Just fire us an email at info@illuminatisports.ca and check us out today.
All right, Justin. Well, Washington has home ice advantage. They're a small favorite at -131 at Pinnacle currently. The Islanders are on the other side at +116, and this is another interesting matchup, typical NHL playoffs matchup. There are two things that jump out at me. The first thing is that Washington should have a huge edge on the power play, right? The Islanders have the worst penalty kill of all the playoff teams, under 80, and Washington was an awesome power play team this year as well, not just because of Ovechkin. They were actually very balanced on the power play, so they're going to have a big advantage in that area. Another stat, though, that jumped out at me is that the past 3 Stanley Cup winners have all ranked top 3 in unblocked shot attempts over the past 3 years, and that is a very good sign for the Islanders this year. So that's one huge plus for the Islanders in my eye, and one huge negative for the Islanders. This is a tough one. Another X factor is that Ovechkin, of course, has a reputation of kind of disappearing in crunch time in the playoffs, although Washington is also deeper than they have been in years past and a much better defensive team. They're actually top 10 defensively this year, which is a very new thing for them. So they're looking like a very impressive team. Holtby has been great in goal for Washington, although, he's played a lot of minutes and his backup has not been good. So if he goes down, that could be another X factor. But if he's healthy and strong the whole series, that seems like another area where Washington has the edge. It's an interesting matchup. Justin Batt from IlluminatiSports.ca, what's your take on this series?
Well, both teams won at home twice and split the season series. Up front, the Isles, they have Anders Lee, Ryan Strome, and Brock Nelson emerging as the unlikely offensive stars behind John Tavares. I didn't even know who these guys were before the season started other than Strome. But for the Caps, the grade 8, he continued to shine. He sniped 50 again this season with a healthy Nicklas Backstrom setting up. On defense, both teams had key additions. For the Caps, Orpik and Niskanen, veteran experience. Also, you got a healthy Mike Green. He allowed the power play to flourish and be super effective throughout the season. For the Islanders, they added Nick Leddy and Johnny Boychuk, who are 2 offensive weapons and former Stanley Cup champions. They were really lacking that the previous seasons. Between the pipes, Yaroslav Halak is 2-0-0 versus the Caps this season and is looking to recapture his success like he had when he played for Montreal back in 2010, when they stunned the Capitals in the postseason. As you mentioned, Holtby, he's got a lot of mileage behind him. He played an NHL league-high 73 games and collected a respectable 41 wins. He also had 2 wins against the Islanders in the 2014-2015 campaign. This is a tight one, but I got a side for you, Peter. Cue me up.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be a pass for me. There's too many positives and negatives on both sides to make me want to actually risk money on it, but it's an interesting series to analyze. Justin Batt from IlluminatiSports.ca. Let's get to the pick.
Well, we know value when we see it. Despite the Capitals being a solid home team and having a 50-plus goal scorer in Ovechkin throughout the regular season, 3 20-goal scorers and 10 10-goal scorers, their decade of marginal and best postseasons lead myself to believe that this trend will only continue. The Islanders, on the flip side, have arguably one of the best 1-2 punch power plays in the Eastern Conference, and a group of young, hungry performers are ready for their shot at the second season. Therefore, we are banking on the underdog Isles to bark at plus 117.
Wow. Okay. Well, that line has actually gone down just a tick to plus 116 right before this call. And that is Justin Batt from IlluminatiSport.ca's lean. Thanks so much, Justin.